Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar, Marathon Lead Generation and Conversion Investments with MAPS coach Richard Schulman. Please note that this webinar is being recorded and you will automatically receive the webinar recording. If you have questions for your coach, please type them into the questions box located in your webinar taskbar. Following the webinar, if you have any questions about today's call or the coaching program, please email us at fasttrack@kw.com. That's FASTTRACK@kw.com. That's all for me. Richard, take it away.
Thank you, Carrie, and good afternoon, everyone. This is Marathon Lead Generation and Conversion for Investment Property. So a lot of you have probably taken the original Marathon Lead Generation Conversion course. The main topic of that course, and they're not sequential, so you don't have to have taken it, is the idea of how do we find and convert leads into appointments. Very simple idea that we delve very, very deeply into to perfect it. This class, which as I said, stands alone, so everything you need to learn is encompassed within the class, is the idea of how do you do the same thing, but for the sale of investment properties. Now, we'll talk a lot about what that means, but I'll let you know straight off the bat, we're not specifically targeting investors, or we're not targeting investors only. We actually want to open up the world of investment properties to all of our buyers and sellers so that we can really expand our service offering. So I hope that makes sense. I'll sort of explain it over the next 28 minutes or so. But the idea is that we're going to use this class to learn about investment properties. We're going to use this class to learn how to sell investment properties to our clients, some of whom are investors, some of whom are not investors. Now, my name is Richard Schulman. I'm a MAPS coach. I'm coming up on 12 full years at KW. I have attended almost every class that KW has to offer. I love the training. I've learned so much from all the training, and that's why it's my absolute honor to share the training with you guys. My team here in LA has done about 1,500 plus sales lifetime, about 184 sales last year for $140 million, and we live what we preach. We are very active in the brokering of small investment properties to our clients who primarily are not investors. They are primarily our regular clients who are buying and selling homes, who we are then adding on a investment property to the sales process. That's the real key here. We're going to figure out how do we meet a regular client who's just buying or selling a home, or selling a home and buying a home. How do we find that person and then find the right investment property for them, right? Now, these people are not generally coming to you and saying, I want investment properties, so we actually have to make a sale here and sell them on why investment properties are a great idea. Now, a little bit more of my background. I run 2 real estate funds. We've done hundreds of investment property sales. 8 of the investors I've worked with, I know for a fact, have made over $1 million in positive equity from the investments that I've recommended to them, including 2 of my own team members. So that's the real key for me, is that this is a great way to build long-term wealth, not only for your clients, not only for your agents, but for you too. That by learning this material, you too can become a buyer of investment properties. Now, investment properties are not that complicated when you actually sit down and learn about them, but as agents, we don't take the time to train on them, so we don't learn the minutia and the detail. In this class, you are going to learn the minutia and the detail to a level that you can buy these properties and then also broker them confidently and competently to your clients. Now, the image on the screen there, that's me on the far left, stage right. I'm talking with our fearless leader, Gary Keller, about investment properties at last year's Mega Camp. We were talking about how to sell investment properties. So I'll do the exact same thing there that I did. I'll do the exact same thing now that I did with Gary on stage. I'd love if all of you took your phones out, and if you're listening on replay, you can take your phone out too. Take your phone out and text 5 of your clients, not for a coffee date, but text them this. Hey, I've got a really interesting investment property. Do you have time to chat later today? Now, if you can get 10 of those out, go for it. But try to get at least 5 of those out now. And what you're going to find is that people are going to respond that, yes, they're interested. Most people are interested in investment properties. Write that down if you're taking notes. Most people want to own investment real estate. Most people don't know how to own investment real estate and thus never buy it, right? My most successful clients are the ones who knew nothing about investment real estate but took my advice and have made millions of dollars owning investment properties. So what is our ethical mandate as agents? Why is this important? Now, something that I like to sort of start with and talk about is the idea that as agents, we have an ethical obligation to ourselves, to our team members if we run a team, and to our clients. Our job is to ensure the financial well-being of our clients and our agents through real estate. If we are not doing that, we are not doing what our license requires us to do, and we are making a huge, huge error, right? Our job is to help our clients become wealthy through real estate, right? The easiest way that I know to become wealthy through real estate is by buying rental property. Now, why is that? Let's talk big picture. Rental property, investment property, is the idea that you're going to own something and someone else is going to service the mortgage, the taxes, the insurance, the expenses with their income, and you will reap 100% of the benefits of that property financially, right? A rental property is something that you're buying, you're putting your own capital in to buy the property, and someone else is going to get up every morning and go to work and pay that mortgage for you, right? Now, our job as agents is to help our clients accumulate as many of these as they reasonably can. Now, there's a lot of ways to look at this. That's why we have a full class on it. We're not going to cover it all today. But think about that very simple idea. If you're not helping your clients buy investment properties, then you're making an error. Now, the target we have is 25%. We think that we should have 25% of our business coming from investment real estate. If it's zero right now, then you have a huge ability to expand your business very quickly. Now look at that quote on the screen. Go ahead and keep texting. I'll give you guys 1 second or 1 minute just to finish up the texting. If you are texting and you have any questions, let me know. There's a question box on the right side. You can type in your questions. And if you get any success, let me know as well. Are people saying, yes, I do want to talk to you? So the question again we're texting is, hey, I've got a really interesting rental property. Do you have time to talk about it later today? You will get people saying yes. You will get people positively excited to talk to you about rental property. All right, here's the quote. We're responsible for the long-term financial success of our clients, team members, and ourselves, right? If we are not financially successful, we cannot continue to operate in this business, and it's very hard for you to sell property, especially investment property, to your clients when you're not buying it yourself. Now, as realtors, of course, we know the value of real estate, and we all know the value of owning lots of real estate over long periods of time. That's what investment real estate is. Now, I've covered this. You guys should know that the number one way, and you can use this line with your clients, this is a great conversation to have, this is a great conversation to have with your clients and agents, the number one way that the average person becomes wealthy, when I say average, that means that they're not inheriting wealth, or they're not inheriting significant wealth. The number one way that the average person obtains actual wealth in the United States is through the ownership of investment real estate. It is the absolute number one way. The best way for you and regular people that you work with to become wealthy is to buy rental real estate. There's no way around that. You cannot work enough overtime hours to become wealthy without some sort of investment income. And yes, obviously the answer is buying real estate. Now, I mentioned 25% before. Our target for this year is to sell 25% of our sales to our clients would be investment property. Now, this started for me in 2008. In 2006, I was selling regular homes just like most of you, buy and sell regular homes. 2007 was a weird, slow year. And in 2008, I sold dozens and dozens of homes to investors. They were foreclosed homes. They were to investors, and I fell in love with the process. Now, there's a lot of positive externalities that come from that. When you sell someone rental property, some people can buy more than one. I've sold more than 10 properties, and remember, my price point is very high here in LA. I've sold more than 10 properties to 5 different investor clients. All of those clients are millionaires because of the investments, and all of those clients listened to me, took my advice. That's one client, 10 sales, right? That's a great return on our time investment in generating business. Now, the positive benefit of that, and actually one of them called me a couple days ago, is that 10 years later, if you put them on the right follow-up program, eventually they want to sell. And when they want to sell, then they call you. So you make an investor's buy, and then you make an investor's sale. It's 2 deals in 1. Now, a lot of the investors will choose to not ever sell the properties, but some do, right? So we don't have foreclosures to sell, but there are still legitimate real estate investment opportunities out there that we can be selling. The only way that you're going to do this is, 1, to learn the business, and 2, to make a concerted effort to go out there and push these properties to your clients. The first step you're taking is this text message you sent. So if any of you have gotten any positive feedback yet of, yes, I'd like to talk, or tell me more, let me know. Now, when they text you back, you're going to have to find a property that makes some investment sense. So I'll give you a couple tips about that later on in the call. For now, what I'll tell you is, if you really want to master the information, top to bottom, we put together a really impressive course. We spend a lot of time recording and writing all the material for it. Now, the course starts Friday, May 10th, but as soon as you sign up, within about a week, we'll be done with all the material, and you'll be able to access all of the material. What we do is we go through the purchase, ownership, management of property. It's everything you need to know to own and sell property. It's both phases of it, because you can't sell property unless you know it inside and out. We'll also be doing monthly webinars to go over questions you may have, and there's also a Facebook group where we can mastermind and go over questions. In the class, we're going to spend a lot of time putting together pitch emails to clients. I'll give you an example. We had an interesting triplex cross our plate. It was not our listing, another agent had listed it, but we punched it into our spreadsheet, which you'll get a copy of in the class, and the spreadsheet said it made a 7% return. We sent an email to about 7,000 people who were in our dead lead database. Those are people who are non-responsive, or people who had never responded or told us not to contact them anymore, whatever it was. And we sent the email out to that database, and out of that, we got about 10 responses of interest and 1 sale. That was a $1.6 million triplex. Again, we have a nice price point here. And we sold that, and we got a over $40,000 gross commission for my junior agent who put that package together. It's that simple. You put together an email, you call your clients, you know the inventory, you know the property, you look for the good values, and you push those out to your clients. When you have a very well put together email, you're going to put out to your clients, here's this property, I think it's a great investment opportunity for you. There's a good chance you're going to sell it. If you don't sell it, you will definitely get a lot of feedback from your clients about other things they may be interested in. Not everyone wants a $1.6 million triplex. Some people want a $300,000 house or a $100,000 condo, or whatever is available in your neighborhood, in your market, that makes investment sense. Now, I believe that anywhere in the country that you can show at least a 6% cash-on-cash return or higher, you should be able to find a willing and excited buyer for that property. Now, your market may be higher than that, but I'm not aware of really anywhere in the U.S. where under 6% is the market. Now, it might not be in Beverly Hills, California. It might be a little bit further out, which is fine. But let's say within 30 minutes of any area in the U.S., there definitely are 6, 7, 8, 9, 10% returns. People will buy those. People will buy those because you can buy something and you can pay them off. It's an incredible retirement plan. It's an incredible way to pay for college for your kids. It's an incredible way to develop real long-term wealth, right? Now let's talk again, real clarity on who's our buyer, because I know this is a challenge every time I talk about this. Some of your clients are investors. If you emailed or called or both everyone in your database, some of those people would classify themselves as real estate investors. Some of the leads that you get on your listings or referrals from your friends are actual investors, people who are spending effort and time on investing in property, right? Now, those people are our clients too. If we have a property they might like, they can call us and buy that property. If we pitch to them a property, they'll come and buy it from us, right? Our other buyer, and really the person that we're targeting in this class, is our regular person buyer. They aren't thinking about real estate but as an investment, but they are thinking about buying or selling a home, or they already have with us. So what do? I'm going to give you some pointers now on what we do to identify these people and cultivate them into clients. So number one is I put up a Facebook ad, and I offered a free copy of Gary Keller's Millionaire Real Estate Investor to any of my clients who are interested. We put out about 60 books, which meant now we have 60 people, and our cost was about $15 each, including shipping, For $900, I now know 60 people raised their hand and want to buy investment real estate. What can I do with that? Well, when I find those properties, and that's the key, we have to find and prepare properties for people, and I'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. I can let them know by phone, text, and email, I've got a property I really think that you're going to like, right? So number one, we're going to put that message out and send out free copies of the book. Number two, you can call or text all of your clients and ask them, hey, are you thinking about buying an investment property? And there's a script on the screen right now. I have a really interesting investment property. Do you have any time to discuss it now? Now, a lot of people will say no, or they're not interested, and that's okay. I always want to ask for that referral because we're opening up a whole new window into clients. We may have a client who buys a house and says, I'm never leaving this house. But that doesn't mean that they don't want to buy an investment property, right? There's no one who doesn't want to own investment real estate. Everyone wants to own a property and collect rent. They may not like the process or the hassle, but everyone wants to buy it. The real question is financial capability. Now, another really good market for locating our clients is going back to our clients who have recently done business with us. These are people we know can afford a home. They may have a lot of equity in their home. So if you have a lot of past buyer clients, all of these buyer clients, if they bought more than a year or 2 years ago, have tons of equity trapped in their home. They can borrow that equity to buy rental properties and even use no cash out of pocket. One of the ways that I personally have acquired a lot of rental property is by using equity lines in property to buy new properties, right? So it's properties almost for free, right? When you're not putting any cash out of pocket, the properties are effectively free to you. And every morning, someone's getting up and going to work and paying rent on that property and slowly paying it off for me, right? It's not get rich quick, it's get rich slow, but it does work. So I hope you wrote down that script. Now, when we talk about investment properties, I said earlier I really enjoyed it. I said I fell in love with the process. The joy of investment properties is that typically we're submitting a lot of blind offers. We have no or few showings. There's very little emotional attachment, and you have very clear metrics. So let me give you an example. A friend of mine saw the Facebook post, and we started emailing about investment properties. So I talked with him over the phone and got him pre-approved for a loan for an investment property. I then sat down and met with him and actually showed him 4 properties in the neighborhood that we like for investment for our clients. And we walked through all of the different angles of how to look at properties and what makes a good property and not a good property. So we wrote one offer on one of the 4 that we saw, and now earlier today, something came up that met all of our criteria because look at number 4 there. I have clear metrics to search for, right? A certain number of bedrooms, bathrooms, and price. Remember, when you're renting out a property, when you're evaluating a property for rental income, people are primarily renting bedrooms, right? So all I need to do is find a certain number of bedrooms for a certain amount of money. If I find that, my client, my friend is very interested. So what happened? Something came out this morning. It met all of our criteria, location, square footage, bedroom, bathroom, and we are going to make an offer, a price based on the number that we have. We have a number in mind that makes sense financially for him to buy these properties. Now, he may not buy the first one. We may have to write a few offers, but I'm confident that we'll find something fairly quickly that will make sense. Now, this one that we're writing an offer on today, I'm not going to drive and show him the property. Why not? We don't need to. We can see the pictures. It meets all of the criteria we've set, and so a blind offer is perfectly acceptable for an investment property. Now, this is good for me because I spend less time showing a property, right? It would probably take me at least 90 minutes out of my day where I could be lead generating to go show that property, and my client also would either have to burn one of his evenings or leave work to go see this property. So it makes sense for a lot of us. There's no chance he won't like it because, again, it met all of our clear metrics. There's no emotional attachment. We're not looking for the perfect kitchen or the perfect yard or anything else. All we're looking for is bedrooms, bathrooms, square footage, and price, right? And neighborhood, of course. We're not worried about any of the emotional things, any of the reasons why a buyer will not usually buy a home, right? The floor plan's not right. It doesn't have the right view or amenity or anything else. This is very simple. So this is a lot more streamlined and efficient business for me and my clients, and I can do a lot more business this way without sacrificing on quality, right? And I know that if he buys this, it will go well, and then in 6 months I can sell him another property because I think we can do 3 for this one client based on what the bank is telling us. Now, the great thing is as people do better and better buying properties, if these first 2 or 3 go well, there'll be more money coming in, more assets to show a bank, and the bank will loan more money. That's how you sell someone 10 or 12 properties, because as they develop real wealth and real consistent income from properties, we can sell them more and more properties, right? This is the best way to look at selling real estate. This is far better than door knocking or farming or trying to find one person to make one sale, or trying to find one person to make 3 sales or 10 sales. Now, if you're not sold after that, I don't know what else I can tell you. We got a little bit more, so don't worry. But if you'd like to sign up, the first date of our first call is May 10th, but in about a week, you'll have all the pre-recorded material, and then we'll supplement it starting May 10th with webinars and conversations online about getting these things ready. So I'll give you a little bit more on how to get these emails prepared for your clients. We do go into intense detail on all of that, but in about a week, you'll have access to the entire suite. We're just wrapping up all of the production. So it's $149. It's the same price as Marathon Lead Generation, which is one of the most popular MAPS group calls. This one's brand new. I've been dying to do this. It took me a while to get it all together because it's a totally new content material. So we talked about this. How are we marketing these? Investment properties are also very streamlined. If you had a really great house, you could email and call and text everyone, but only so many people are looking to buy a house, even if it's a really great house in a really great neighborhood and price and all of that, right? Investment properties appeal to everyone. So investment properties really work well in our new tech-forward company mindset, right? We can mass produce the results we need for this. We can create an email that will go out to, in my database, 25 or 30,000 people. I can get a text out to 1,200 people who are tagged as investors, and I can pull a list of those same 1,200 people and pop them in the auto dialer and have my agents call them in a few hours. Selling investment properties is a streamlined, efficient process that is a lot faster and easier, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to find the right property. We're going to run a cash flow analysis, and I'll teach you in the class how to do that. We don't have time now. What we're going to do is we're going to put an email together to our clients. It's going to say, hey, here's an incredible property, and then we're going to list highlights. Why do I like this property? It's a specific neighborhood that I think is good for investment because of these reasons. It's a certain price point, which makes a lot of sense. It has some residual land value, or there might be extra land on the property. The income might be really high. Something really unique and interesting about the property is going to stick out, right? You can't just send your clients, here's a property, buy it. You've got to give them some context because they don't know what they're looking for. So 2 or 3 specific reasons why you want to buy a property. It's no different than for a residential property when you call your client and say, I think this home is great for you because it's in the neighborhood you want on a cul-de-sac with a pool, right? It's the same idea. What are the salient details of this property? Then we're going to have a link to the property with photos. Then we're going to have a cash flow analysis. Then I'm going to type out, even though the cash flow analysis says this, I'm going to type out this property generates a 7.52% projected rate of return on your investment. That's a fantastic rate of return based on what I see in the marketplace, and that's why I'm recommending it to you. If you put together a good email like that to all your clients, push it out to them, you will get responses, right? You may not sell that one property, although you probably should, but you will get a lot of your clients pinging you back asking for more info, saying, I like this one, but what about something in a different neighborhood? Or what about something that's more money or less money or somehow different? You're going to really engage a lot of people in a way they have not been engaged before. After that, you can start calling and texting your database. Don't be afraid to call people that you know and ask about this because you don't know who's an investor and who's not. You don't know who has extra money after they bought their house. You don't know who has equity. You don't know which of your friends have money that they may want to put into an investment, right? You will always be surprised at the people you miss out on. Here's an overview of the class. I mentioned a few things before, but just so you have a really concise overview, we're going to go deep into the full operation and evaluation of investment properties. It's not just the sales side, it's the operation and management side as well, because you need to have that for yourself, because you're going to be buying investment properties, and you need to have that so you can properly advise your clients. With my clients, I'm helping them manage the property, I'm helping them prepare forms, I'm advising them on repairs, I have vendors for them. It's a whole process. We're going to learn about the sales cycle of investment properties, and like I talked about a lot, we're going to learn about really how to layer it on top of our existing business. We cover all the scripts and marketing materials that you need. We're going to talk about some really advanced stuff that will help your clients go from 1 property to 10 properties, and then we will also cover stuff for larger apartments and commercial. The primary focus of the call is, of course, selling small investment properties to your average client, but we will cover some larger stuff and some more unique stuff for when it does come up. So with that being said, I'd love to have you on the call. We start May 10th, but you'll have access to the material sometime next week or just after. Everything's recorded and available for playback, so you have the opportunity to review the material in depth, and then I'm going to provide you all the materials that you need, the emails, the text, the script, everything you need start to finish to sell these properties. So I really appreciate your time, guys. If you have any questions, I'll stick around for a minute, and if not, I'll see you on the call. If you have any questions that go past this, Maps will send out an email, and you can just ping Maps, or you can email me at schulmanrd@gmail.com. That's SCHULMANRD@gmail.com. And thanks for being on the call.